coming out and being patient. Some of you guys were a little bit earlier, so I appreciate it. This is a record turnout for us, so that's also amazing. So thanks again. So before we get started, just quickly introduce Promotable, and then I'm going to hand it off. So Promotable, so I'm Aaron, founder and CEO of Promotable. So what do we do? Basically, we do events like this twice a month, always with really cool speakers, different topics, all somehow related to data. So we've done things like machine learning for dummies, how to screen marketing now, this kind of stuff. We also have classes and that sort of thing. But really, what's kind of what we basically just believe that in order to be successful today, you need to understand data. One way or another, not everyone needs to be a data scientist, but everyone needs to be able to have that basic background to be able to say, okay, well, this is this because of data, right? And so I go through. I'll forget that. So basically, also two things. If anyone needs the restrooms, they're out in the hall. You make the first right, and it's the second or third door down, depending if your ways are met. And the other thing, I'll be sending out the deck and the recording to everyone, so no need to take pictures or anything like that. More than welcome to, of course. Two more things. We've got a couple other events coming up in the next month. So we have an intro to the cloud for managers. So anyone who's interested in sort of what's AWS, what's Azure, why use one or the other, does it save money, what do you need to know? So we have that coming up on the 30th, or early May, the 9th. We've got A/B testing with some Facebook coming in to help us with that. And then we also have a couple of classes coming up. Data Jumpstart, for anyone who wants to level up on the Excel side. This is for someone who you're really good, you know your sum functions, averages, but you know like highly longitude, how to pivot tables and slicers. So we've got a guy from Groupon who helps with that. And then we have, of course, the right to analytics class. So that's a 6-week, 5 hours a week. We do it upstairs at 1871. All of our instructors are all current data science practitioners. We've had folks from Brooklyn, Nielsen, Cron Club, etc. So if you're interested, feel free. I'll be hanging out after the event. Come say hi. And then if not, I'll also be shooting everyone an email with all the stuff about coming events and free tickets and that sort of thing. So definitely come by and say hello. And with that said, I want to introduce Alex. We'll start talking about some marketing stuff.
Okay, so great to see everybody. Let me know if you can't hear me in the back. I can get loud. So a little bit about me. Yes, I am one of the data scientists that works at Mcdonald. There are a bunch of us that live in different verticals. My vertical is marketing for the US specifically, so we're divided into all of the different markets and local. So there are differences. I work on the US business specifically. And before that, I was on the agency side working in analytics there, doing a lot of cool models for a couple different clients. Like Aldi, and then for PACCAR, which is B2B, large trucks, those kind of things. Got my master's in analytics from Chicago. Been in this data science gig for about 5 years. Before that, I was actually in the Army, working in military intelligence for 6 years. So very different kind of data, very different talk. But a little about me. I made it to Chicago. In the military, bounced around and tried East Coast, West Coast, Texas, decided I liked Chicago the best and came back here. So for all of the recent replants, I'm one of them, love the city, love being down here. Last movie I watched, I like jazz, I like Captain Marvel, I like all of the Avengers series, super excited for Endgame coming out. In my spare time, I do code. So for people who are like, oh, I don't know, why do people go on GitHub, or why do people go on Kaggle and look at all this data? I am one of those nerds. I'll sit there and participate in some of the data competitions. I highly recommend it if you guys are looking to expand your skill sets or practice. Kaggle has a lot of really just fun problems for like real clients, like Airbnb will put some information out there, they'll give you a data set, and they'll say, all right, in 6 months, we're going to review all of them and pick a winner. And then sometimes there's a prize involved. I'll say most of the time there's a gift prize, or they're going to get your name out there. But for people who are kind of dabbling in data, you don't even have to publish it. Just take it down, work with the data, and then see what you can do in some of the different coding software, or just visualize it in something like Excel or Tableau, and just be more familiar with it. So I started at McDonald's probably about 2 years past I've been there now, and my role there is everything return on marketing investment. So that's what I'm going to talk about today. It's really a hot topic. So before McDonald's had a return on marketing investment model, also known as marketing mix modeling, or just MMM for short, they relied on kind of the traditional media measurement systems. So what was my click-through rate? What was my video watch completion rate? What was the reach and frequency of this television ad? How many GRPs did I get out there? And none of those things really answer the question, how is marketing driving my business results? How is this ad moving sales? How is this getting new people or returning people into the stores? So that's what I really want to talk about today. It's answering that higher level question, what's driving my sales? What's driving my in-store visits? So we call them guest counts for McDonald's. So every person that comes into the store makes a transaction, we consider a guest count. And then we're looking at sales in all of our different product categories. So that's my main functionality. I am the only data scientist at McDonald's that does this. So basically, when our US president says, what's marketing doing for us these days? They come to this model. Or when my CMO, Morgan Flatley, says, how's marketing doing? Did we hit our goals? This is what she's using to answer those questions. So I'm going to walk you through a little bit about these kind of models, how it fits into that entire measurement framework, and some of the kind of cool stuff that you can answer question-wise with these kind of models. Also, I'm very happy to stop, take questions. There's a Q&A session in the end of it as well, but happy if you guys want to shout something out. What we're going to go through today is kind of, what are we trying to solve? What is the issue here? What is the business reason that you want to do these kind of models? And then maybe when you don't want to, or when it's not worth it, when is the juice not worth the squeeze? And then I am going to rank the best to work methodologies for marketing measurement. Then if we can say, what is the reason people aren't doing MMM models today? Why can't people get to this question easier? And then we'll go deep dive into these kind of models, how they're used, what kind of questions you can answer, what kind of data you need for them. And then finally, if you want to start this new organization, what does success look like and how you should start this kind of project. So here's the issue. You have your business leader saying, all right, I know I'm spending $10 million, let's say, in advertising. How many sales does that give you? And if you are an average marketer, you could say, well, I'm not sure, but my click rate looks really good, or my video completion rate looks really good. If you're really advanced, you might say, I've done some A/B testing, and when I add this versus that, I have a pre- and post-test analysis of my sales. So I'm guessing that marketing is the reason that it increased or didn't increase afterwards. But you're going to sit there and you're going to really struggle without this kind of model to say what is the direct impact. Sometimes there are good things. If you are in the online space, which obviously McDonald's, we don't sell a lot of things online. We're mostly in store, so it's a lot more difficult. But if you are at Amazon or something like that, where you're selling things online, it's a lot easier to say, I spent this much in Google Ad search, and this is how many clicks I got, and this is how many actually made a sale. So if you have online work, this kind of modeling is much easier, getting the data is much easier, and you can do this on your own much easier than if you are a mostly in-person visit, which is like McDonald's. So we do have an app. We are able to now use Uber Eats, so we have a couple things where you can technically link that to an online sale, but that's a very, very small percent of our business. It's growing. It's one of our fastest growing segments, but it's very, very small. So when our president's saying, how is marketing helping my sales, especially for a very mature business where everyone knows about McDonald's, much is my almost $1 billion that we spend a year in the US, how is that actually moving the needle for sales and estimates? Okay, so it's a bit of a trick question. Yes, I am ranking the methodologies from best to worst, but if you're a good marketer, you should be looking at every single one of these factors because they will tell you different things and identify different errors throughout what your advertising is doing for you. So on the top level here, I have the kind of traditional media metrics that everyone should be doing. I'm going to step back here so you can actually see my slides. But if you are buying television, you need to look at reach and frequency. And did the GRPs that I bought actually deliver what I expected to see? So you do need to make sure that you're looking at reach and frequency. If you're buying something on Facebook, you do need to make sure that you're looking at like different reports saying your reach numbers there as well, right? So Facebook will say how many impressions you got, who is the audience for those folks. So you have to have that. If you don't have that, you have a problem. Also, there's living in an age where a lot more people are blocking ads. So you need to look at things like viewability. If your ads are not viewable, you are wasting money there. So you want to try to do fraud detection measures like that. That's something you need to look at. But that doesn't tell me that my marketing is working. It just tells me that how many people saw it and if they actually saw it. So once you get those kind of the traditional media measures, you get down to actual creative brand and content. So this is usually, I am Microsoft and I want to sell services to people. So I'm going to set up a focus group and I'm going to ask people what they like about this product. I'm going to maybe watch them use it. I'm going to ask them a lot of questions, how the product makes them feel, and some of those softer level metrics. I might also do another study that just says how I feel about Microsoft as a brand. Am I a fan? Are people who are fans, are they more receptive to the Surface as one of our products? So there's a lot of survey data in this one. It's very consumer focused. And then how people are reacting to the content you're creating. So I run a TV ad. Another way I could test this in a better way is I could put it on YouTube with a very small amount of spend for an ad. And YouTube will actually go ahead and send it to audience and they'll do an A/B test for you. And they'll say people are having a higher viewability or view-through rate than this ad. And so I can say, okay, this is working better. Now I'm going to put all of my media dollars behind this ad versus the other ad. I'm going to be able to save a little bit of money and I have a little bit more optimized my content to the people that I care about and people who are actually going to watch the whole thing. So I can optimize against the audience, so the customer facing, or I can optimize towards my creative. So I'm trying to target everyone and more people in general like this ad. So you can optimize both ways there. You still have to worry about viewability. You still have to worry about impressions. But this is really trying to say, how is my content and my creative and my audience, my customers or my potential customers, how are they feeling, how are they relating to me? So it's good, and it still doesn't tell you how your marketing works. So you get finally to in-store traffic. So when I'm saying in-store traffic, that's people that are crossing my threshold or making it to my website. So that would be your click-through rate that gets to your page. Not necessarily the sale, per se, but the number of people that actually land there or walk into the store. Now, when you're talking about walking into the store, you're using a different kind of data set. A lot of stores don't have some kind of tracker that says how many people actually enter. So they're counting the number of sales that the store made, or they're using something that's called location data. So there's a couple companies out there, Bliss, Place, Cuban, those are some of the big ones. And what they do is all of those apps that you have on your phone, that you don't read all of the different sign-on logic, and you hit yes and you just accept it. So they're actually tracking your location. So if your location is enabled, they are tracking it. They're not using your PII, but they are saying that your mobile device ID crossed the threshold into a McDonald or into a Target or into X. So then you can say how many people came into the store. That's really important because unlike our business, some people browse. So I'm cold. I want to know how many people are coming in and not buying anything and just walking out. Because maybe that means a store isn't set up right. Maybe it is a lot of kind of risk assessments that have to go along with it. It has to be very de-identified, so taking out all of those personal information, otherwise we can get a lot. So we don't have anyone's address, we don't have their sex, race, or any kind of addressableness, right? So we can see that this ID is linked to this, but we cannot talk to you if we don't know who you are. It's just that we know that this person saw an ad, and this person did or did not come in. So we have to be super careful with that, but that is a really good way to start tying advertisement to in-store traffic. But that's still not exactly perfect, because what if I came in because I come in on the week? Or what if I came in because it was beautiful weather and I happened to be walking by? And yes, maybe I saw that ad, but maybe I didn't. Maybe those are on the side of the screen on the many, many display ads that we get, and I didn't even look at it. So it's still not very good at telling against all of the other factors of the decisions that I make to go into McDonald's, whether or not I'm going to come in anyway. So it's still good, it's still helpful, but it's not that really saying what is my return on that dollar spent for sales. So that's finally where you get into the Spotify, which is the most important and the hardest to answer. Is for this $10 million I spent across this campaign, did that actually drive store sales? And then of those store sales, which products did it drive those numbers? So you really take account. Are you a Happy Meal customer? Are you a Big Mac customer? And all of the things that is really hard to say, what actually goes in it. So what if I saw an ad for Happy Meals, and they said, oh, you just reduce the calories in it. And I'm like, oh, that's awesome. So I walk in, and then I order something completely different. Am I going to get credit for that ad? I should get credit for that ad. But unless you have a model like this that's able to tease apart those different things, you're not going to be able to get credit for it. Okay. So finally, you decided you want to be able to reach it down to that sales level. You want to be able to say which products halo onto each other. So you start getting your data together. So the thing is to answer if your marketing actually drove sales versus sales you were going to get anyway, you've got to really have what I call a world in the boat. You have to create a simulated world and say, this is my market, this is my world that I live in. Here's all the different kind of factors that influence. So first thing you do is, like we're in the US, we have different variables within our country that's going to be different from the other McDonald's in other countries. So our model is US specific. We have 4 years of data. We model sales by store, by day, across 10 different product groups. And we control for all of these outside McDonald's control variables. So that's going to be how the economy is doing, the demographics of that area. How are their gas prices? Weather obviously is a huge one, especially for an in-store visit like McDonald's. Seasonality, so you don't just have weather, but you also have the season and the month that you're running in. And then you have competitive spend, right? So McDonald's has a lot of competitors. So when Wendy's does an ad, this is going to affect our sales. So there's different kind of sources where you can actually go out and buy from like a Nielsen or a Kantar, all of the different competitors' media data is spent. And so we get that as well. And so we're able to see what they were advertising. It's in product groups, so not really the spot. But what they were advertising and how much they spent and on what channel they had. So that's a factor of it that's outside of our control. We can't control how much they put on discount, especially in an environment like what we call IEO, which is in-street eating out habits. So there's all the places you can go and buy a meal, spend your money outside the house. You know, that as a trend has been shrinking as people eat at home more, right? So as the pie is getting smaller, the share of that what you have is under increasing attack from competitors. So then the competitors' media is getting stronger. And what do? They then start discounting. So when they are discounting and their prices are increasing, also the We can have our own pricing strategies, but we have to account for what they're doing as they still affect our world. So once you have all of those, and that is for every city, every down to the zip code level, for where our stores are at, now you're starting to build that world. And so that's on it. We are collecting our data, like I said, for our sales by store by day. On the media side, it's everything for a week. So then it gets aggregated up to a weekly level and to a DMA level, because that's how people buy media. So there's other stuff that's in McDonald's control, but it's not within marketing's control. And my functionality can't say, hey, do this or do that. I mean, I try. I've been asking for a veggie burger for a really long time. They don't take my advice on that at all. So I can't make many decisions. I can't make some of those decisions. So I still have to account for it in my model, though. I still have to say what we're selling, when we're selling it, right? We have LTOs that come on and come off the menu. I have to account for that. In different regions of the U.S., we have different products. Some stores will have biscuits. Some stores will have the egg McMuffin. Some stores will have both. I have to account for that in my model. Customer satisfaction, you have to have that for each store. That's going to matter, right? Your in-store experience is going to be that store can have differences between another McDonald's store. So we have the customer satisfaction rates. Then we also have the issues per thousand. So that's actual messing up somebody's order. Because that's going to matter too. When people are going to come back to that restaurant, maybe they'll come from one across the street. Like from all my local McDonald's, I know which ones have fast drive-through lanes. I know which ones are the screw on my order. And customers know that, especially from places like McDonald's, where you have 14,000 locations in the U.S. That's something that would learn as a consumer over time. And so there's going to be individual store differences you need to account for. Pricing strategies, that's going to be different by region as well. The size of your store, how much you pay your employees, that's a variable too. Not something that I control, but that's going to affect maybe the service or service times, things like that. We don't really have the online versus offline problem, but other companies would. And then at the rate that you're opening stores or closing stores, right? Now, for McDonald's, when we're reporting on Wall Street, we use comparable store sales. So what that means is that the store has to be open at least a year, and you're comparing yourself to that store versus a year ago. But in our model, you still need to have credit for all the stores that were open during that time frame. So it's slightly different than what we're showing at Wall Street. We're accounting for all sales and the marketing effect on total sales, not just comps comparable. But that's not to go back so everything makes sense when we're talking to, say, our owner-operators or our investors. Then finally, once you have all of those environmental factors, all of the other company control operational variables, you can start talking about media variables. So that I look at for the national media and local media. Separated out that way. And then I'm collecting everything on a weekly level by channel. And then where I can, I also collect it by department. It's really easy for, say, 2019 that just happened. If I'm making a change to something and I have to pull everything back to 2015, it gets really, really challenging. So every time I go to add a variable, I have to go back 4 years. You don't have to have 4 years. Technically speaking, you can have just 2-year look back window. But remember, you're creating a world. So in my world, it's seeing things that McDonald's has done, and it creates a marketing response to that in that world. So what that allows me to do with a long look back period is if I go to try to do another new campaign it's never seen before, it has a lot of different natural experiments to pull from. And so if I go to do another Big Mac campaign, it looks up at that 4-year history and said, okay, the other times you did campaigns that are similar to that, here's how the market reacted. And here's the actual sales and guest counts that you were able to deliver on from that. So it's super important. We also do PR. We do the in-store signage. Those are really important pieces. We now have our app usage, the number of people with our app. So if you're getting the idea, I'm trying to account for every single variable to make this fake world possible. And then at the end of that, what you're able to do is use a test and withholding method to test it, right? So, go one more slide to explain this a little better. So an MMM model is usually an advanced form of regression model. So I'm taking all of that history and I'm looking at how each one of those lines explain the variation of my sales. So McDonald's, like a lot of mature agencies, they have very small impact from marketing. Most of ours is coming from baseline sales that we would get anyway if we stopped advertising tomorrow. Now, if we did stop advertising tomorrow, our brand might erode over time, so we might lose baseline momentum. But technically speaking, we would get at least 90% of our sales anyway. So this says something where, like, okay, you're spending almost $1 billion a year, and you're only getting 10% of sales. But when you actually calculate that in numbers, you're talking about billions of dollars in sales and billions of dollars in the different product groups. So it's still worth it. And when you're done with that, you're able to withhold, say, 20% of the data. And then I ask the model to predict for those missing weeks how accurate it is. So I'm asking it to predict the sales and the guest count for those weeks by the product groups. So our model, I'm happy to say, is 99% accurate. So that means I can predict sales for any given week with the 99% of the actual sales for that week. So we're really happy about it. In a lot of different kind of models, you want to be better than 85%. So we're very happy with 99%. The reason we're there is because I have all of those variables. I'm very good at explaining all of the variance in my little world. So I'm accounting for a lot of different stuff, which is important because I then get to a waterfall like this, where I'm breaking out here are my true baseline driven by weather, all of the factors outside of McDonald's control. Then I break it out for the operational variables that is within McDonald's control, not within my functions control. And then finally, this small thing that can be anywhere for an industry like McDonald's between 5 to 10%, that's what I'm breaking apart into actual the media variables that are driving sales. And then I can finally say, marketing drove X% of sales. Marketing drove X% of guest counts. But without accounting for everything in that world, it could be anything, right? It could be the weather. It could be our competitors. It could have been just one of those days where the markets crashed or something else and something very weird happened that if I didn't have it accounted for my model, might say marketing is more or less effective than it actually is. One problem that we have in a business like McDonald's, where the industry is contracting, is our baseline sales could be going down, but our marketing could be getting better. And so then our investors say, McDonald's, why is your marketing not working? And because we have a tool like this, we could show, no, it's not our marketing. Our marketing has increased efficiencies over the years. So my rate of my dollar return is above $1 back. So if I put in $10 million, I'm making $15 million back on it. And I can show with hard proof that it's not our marketing that's the problem. And I am able to show, here's the effect of the competitor media. Here's the effect of the economy. Here's the effect of weather. I'm actually able to break it down and say, this is why sales are down, even in the face. So I'm able to explain the world a little better.
I have a question before you go too far. Do you actually categorize your ad? So you have a way to label it?
Oh, yeah.
Because it belongs to a certain theme and whatever it is.
Yeah.
Is that where you
It's my job
check that?
to label and categorize all of the sales. Yeah. And it follows usually within our media, right? Because that's what I'm trying to get to.
Yeah.
So our media message types. So I divide it into whether it's LTO product that comes on and off versus a core product that's always on our menu, a deal versus an everyday value message. We've also got like experience variables, small amount of spend, brand versus that. So I'm dividing up all of my media and then the product that it's focused on. So it could be a core product that we always have with a twist. So it could be a beef core product, but now it has bacon for this limited time. So I'm categorizing every single piece of media in those dimensions.
Thank you.
If I understand your chart, then the lift you get from marketing goes from what, 700 million to 725 million thereabouts. But you spend about $1 billion.
Oh, this is not real numbers.
Oh,
McDonald's
okay.
will kill me if I do. This example is fine. Yeah.
So then even if you show them the data, then you can, they don't listen to you because again, the veggie burger, I know at one time they did have one, it just was not successful. But, you know, the keto or paleo, which are products that you do have that, you know, might make a difference if, but they don't, you
So
just show them what they wanna see. You have to
So
show them.
technically speaking, I would use different data source data set. I would go back to my consumer surveys and survey people, or look at the market trends of other stores that were selling that kind of product, and look, say, hey, they've been growing this segment by 20%. In mine, I can only see the advertising I have ever done before. So I can say when I came out with, we did oatmeal for breakfast, like, I don't know, 2015 or something like that. I can say how that new type of product that focused on the niche area for consumers really did well, or that it didn't do well. But because I'm working with kind of my 4-year look back window, and then categorizing it into like types, I can't say for a totally net new category like veggie burger how it would perform. I would have to say it could perform like these other ones, and group them together and try and come up with an estimation for it. So once I have that, along that same thread, what are some of the other questions I can now answer with this data? Because we already said, here's how my marketing works. Here's how it worked this quarter versus that quarter. Am I getting better, getting worse? The next thing that you as a marketer should be asking, okay, where should I spend my next dollar? How can I use this as a planning tool for next quarter, for next year? How should I realign my priorities based on what I just learned? And so that's my primary function, is not just to model it and to measure it and say, here are your results. It's also to say, based on these learnings, this is what you should be advertising next year. This is what you should be optimizing your media mix for. Here are the things that worked or that didn't work, and change that. Because we're McDonald's and we always have a lot of ads going on at the same time, we have something called message collision, right? So if we're doing a mid-cafe coffee spot and we're advertising, let's say, $1 any size pop, those two things are something that could cannibalize each other, right? So I could hear both messages and I'm like, oh, well, I'd rather pay $1 than the specialty coffee drink, so I go in and I buy that instead. But I spent both of those campaigns, which means I am cannibalizing some of my own sales. And if I had run one campaign and then the other campaign, I could have gotten the increased efficiency for both of those. So we call that halo cannibalization, and that's an output of this study as well. And then with that, we say actually which campaigns drove the most. So if I did 20 campaigns last year, which one got me the most dollars back? Let's do more of that and less of what didn't work. And of those, are there key themes that I should be using when I'm planning my next one? And then within that, so I know that beef products work better than chicken products, for example. That's great. Now I have a beef campaign. Where should my media dollars be spent? In what media channels? Should I be 50% television and 10% search? Once you've got a mix of, whatever the 6 main media channels are, what should be my mix within those? And then within that mix, what partners or networks should I be buying from that are better than others? So McDonald's, we do a lot last with, we call it audience segmentation. For us, McDonald's is a mass market brand. We consider everyone to be a potential customer. So we don't do this as much, but in other models like this, you can also say which audiences are the most efficient for me to buy against. And I'm going to buy more against those and less against those. You can actually see, so like, let's say we had a campaign that was 9 weeks long. And so then we can see afterwards in model results, we should have stopped that campaign at 5 weeks. Because then for every dollar spent past that, say, 15 million, we only got 50 cents back for every dollar. So in the beginning, maybe I was getting $2 back for every dollar spent. And then at some point, you start getting diminishing returns. So I'm getting $1.50, $1.15. And then finally, I'm at 90 cents. I'm now losing 10 cents for every dollar I'm putting into advertising. I'm not getting that back. Now, if my goal for that campaign is a brand message, and I'm not specifically just trying to drive sales, maybe I'm okay with losing 10 cents for every dollar I put in. In a lot of things where like I'm Uber and I need to get more people to get on the app, they have a lot of advertising dollars that lose money. So when you put a dollar in, you get less than a dollar out. So, but for us, for McDonald's, we're at a mature age of our business, and for every dollar we put in, we want a dollar sales out, right? So, we're looking at that and saying, where did we not achieve that? And let's step away from those channels or those products and move it to ones that did work. And then finally, this is kind of looked at message collision. When we're planning, we're in 2020 field and planning right now, and they're saying, all right, Alex, based on all that you've learned from the model in the last 4 years, of the data you've got in there, what are the general themes that we should be comparing things with? How long should those campaigns be? What should you like and what should you like to play with? What campaigns should be nationalized versus localized? And really, like, what's the basic framework we should be starting with? And if I have a new campaign, how can I expect that? And then you actually get down deep into the media. So this is looking at, and I have kind of X value in terms of what brands we were, or what some of the channels were here. But the one at the top right here is I'm looking at across these different, what we call digital channel buckets, and how much for every dollar I spent, I got that back. Then I'm starting to understand, all right, in this channel versus that channel, for this particular product I advertise, what's the best for me? And we're also looking at it from the sense of how many people I should be. Can I be super, super efficient? So the most I can ever spend is $5 million because it just doesn't talk to a lot of people. So like Snapchat could be awesome for us, but if only 10 million people see it, I'm still going to be limited in what I can get back from a sales perspective. We break it down by all the different partners, so Hulu versus ABC versus all of the different streaming networks that we have out there now, and then also by the different types of messages. So if I have iced coffee message, is that iced coffee message on sale? Is it a core message? Or is it something I'm putting on the menu for a limited time and taking off? And then which channel does best in each one of those scenarios? And then on the bottom left here, where I'm looking at that diminishing return. So for each week, for that $3 million I'm spending each week, at what rate do I start to lose money on that dollar? And once I start to lose money on that dollar, I should stop and reinvest it into something else that is working. It's also very difficult to get to this level of data. So for this to work, you need to have that you spend in Facebook and Snapchat and Twitter, how much you spent that week, how many impressions you spent that week, and ideally also what area of the country that you were able to see it. And so you're seeing all of those lines and looking at it very quickly. So sometimes what we call multi-linearity happens. So we spend in, let's say, Twitter and Facebook at the exact same rate. So for every campaign, we walk them at equal weights, and we kind of our lines like this because we walk them the same way. We went to market every single time with the same amount of dollars and the same amount of GRPs or impressions. What's going to happen then is the models looking at all the different lines, and those models see the lines that are so closely correlated to each other, they're going to say, I can't tell these two things apart. And so then I have to group it, and now it becomes social. And hopefully, I bought social differently than I bought search. Because then at social and search, I bought it in the exact same way, and I spent the exact same amount of dollars, and I bought the same impressions for those weeks. I'm not going to be able to count those correctly. So it does get complicated very quickly. The most important thing is to get the data at that level of granularity. Because then you can't even try to start pulling it apart. Another thing is just really good to test and learn. So if I'm the team that's responsible for buying search, I should try to do something slightly different for each campaign, depending on the product that I'm selling or depending on the audience that I'm really trying to hit. And that will create enough durability between search and the other channels so that when I'm trying to measure it, they look different from each other. So now that I have this tool,
How many variables do you have that have like a strong data that you really look at and you do the running model?
well, that's where the
like you
techniques
have
are
like
at.
thousands of them.
Yeah.
How many variables, right?
So, well, I have 10 different product sales models that I'm then aggregating for total. So that's how I'm able to get more granularity out of them, because I'm looking at the effect of advertising, so before advertisement on once you have all of that, I'm then creating a tool to help the planner. So not only am I able to give heuristics, here's how this shouldn't go together, I'm actually modeling out a 52-week calendar every single week, what we're supposed to have run, and then within that, what media channels am I going to use, and the actual spend against each one of them. And then I create a simulation, so it's actually a very advanced just projection based on all the model data I have. So this is now a separate tool. I have the model. The model lets me build this kind of customized simulation tool. So now I have this fake world. I'm able to say, given it this year, what am I likely to get in incremental sales and incremental store visits? And then I can change it. Say, like, all right, instead of this, I'm going to move this window up 10 weeks. Or I'm going to cut the spend for this kind of campaign in half. And I'm able to measure the difference in this simulated fake environment. And then I'm able to give a recommendation in a range of expected performance. And then within that, I can actually change media mixes and say, you should be more heavy in television for this versus that. And what's good about this tool versus just trying to look at heuristics and what generally performs better than others is it takes into account seasonality, it takes into account message inclusion, and also just how many BRPs you have in any single week, and then the different media channel performance for each one of those products. So not everything does it at this level. This is actually a customized tool that we built for McDonald's, but it's super powerful in the hands of the actual marketers and the media people. So non-data scientists can go in this tool and mess around and still have those powerful data-led insights without actually having to be a data scientist. That also makes my job easier because I can give people this login and be like, go ahead and take some of the workout questions. So, what kind of data do I need to get started? All of those things that make up your world, that's the kind of data that you need for it. So, I'm not saying that you should go out and build this yourself. This is something that you want to hire dedicated data scientists to, or you want to hire an analytics firm that you give all this data to. If you hire an analytics firm, they normally have all those what we'll call environmental